here we go. Why did that change? What the heck? Actually tilted. Actually straight up tilted. I don't know why my OBS just decided, we're not gonna, the mic's not gonna be the thing. The mic's not gonna be it. You have your intro every time, so there's no way, but we're just gonna decide the mic isn't gonna fucking work this time. Actually tilted. Thank you, ProScape. Thank you, Demon Blades. Think your audio's out. No, it's just the OBS just decided, yeah, instead of connecting to this microphone, we're just gonna connect to the default. And the computer's like, well, what's the default? And the OBS says, well, the default. And then that conversation goes on forever, and I don't notice. So that's annoying. Anyways, we're back in Dungeons & Dragons campaign prep. We're pretty much done with prepping the campaign. We have the dungeon. There are just a few things we have to do. We have to take our campaign notes, put them in Foundry. We have to take the images I found online that I merged together, put those in Foundry, and have a map that players can actually go into. We then got to come up with enemies that they'll fight and make tokens and put that in Foundry. So we'll do that in a minute. However, there are two things. One, I got myself some cookies as a snack, and I want to eat those real quick. And two, I got a package right before Strem started. Literally before the Strem started. Someone rang my doorbell. Okay, let's see what's in here. Yes, I use a knife to open my packages. I'm that cool, guys. No, I just have a knife and I like using it. What is in this package? My new headphones. Not headphones, earbuds. I ordered some earbuds that a friend recommended to me a while ago. It's these N5005 Piano Black. These guys from AKG. I'll try them out at the end of stream if you guys are interested. Interested. For now, they're just gonna go off to the side here. Hello, he a cool guy. Who a cool guy? I'm confused. Explain. Explain. Going to Claire's show tonight? She doesn't have a show tonight. But she may want to watch a movie, so I'll let you know. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. Okay, look. We're now in Foundry. This is a good for some what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I legitimately hate when I see people write it that way. Instead of writing gate, they write it with the P because that's funny. I don't think it's funny. Are you a cool guy? Oh, thank you. Give us a One Piece rant. I can rant. I'll rant about the most recent chapter, and it's a positive rant because you can rant positively. You can rant positively. Trust me. So spoilers for the most recent One Piece chapter if you don't want to hear it. So right now we're supposed to be in the middle of uh Elbath, which was not supposed to be it wasn't actually supposed to be an arc. Oda wasn't going to do it. He was just going to like move past it, and then his editor's like, actually, I think you need an arc as a pause between Egghead and whatever the next arc is going to be. So you should do an Elbath one. It's like, okay, I'll do an Elbath one. And this Elbath arc went from, oh my god, we're seeing all these freaking characters. We're seeing Emu. We're seeing more of the what do I call it? Not celestial dragons, the celestial guard, the celestial dragon army. I forget what they're called right now. We're seeing more of those guys. We're we're seeing people who have like these unbeatable powers that even just like nobody else is able to beat them. Like even Jinbei can't beat them. We finally get to meet Roger's third most important crew member, Scopper Gabon. We finally get to meet him, and he turns out to be like a Sanji, older Sanji clone. And we're getting all this cool stuff in Elbath. Lore drops. Finally, Frankie is going to get a big scene. We thought we were going to get an Egghead, but we didn't, which is really kind of annoying. Frankie was basically useless in that. Or not useless, but he was super sidelined. Super sidelined in that arc. And so I'm blanking. So we're getting like all this cool stuff. We're learning about Loki. They have like apparently the giants have a special devil fruit. King Harold ripped off his own horns. We're learning all this cool stuff. And then we go into a Loki flashback, right? We're going to learn Loki's origin. What really happened with King Harold? We're about to learn that. And this Loki flashback has gone from a Loki flashback to a King Harold's flashback. From a King Harold flashback to a Rox D. Zebek flashback. This character came out of nowhere. Freaking awesome, by the way. I love the theory that, we know he's Blackbeard's dad, but I love the theory that he might also be Buggy's dad, because if you take the picture and cut it down the middle, the left half of his face looks like Blackbeard's. If you cut both their halves and smash them together, and then you take the other half and smash it with half Buggy's, and it looks like Buggy's face. So Buggy might also be a son of Rox. Unknown. So we're in this Rox flashback all of a sudden, which then became a freaking Gold Roger flashback with versus Garp flashback, learning about about the Kuja pirates and about Shaki. Oh my god. This whole thing has been like such a wild ride. It is so One Piece. Like we have been so far removed from Luffy for like the last 10, 20 chapters? Remember, he showed up, and then they killed a rabbit, and then he just went down to the bottom of the world, was like, oh, hey, I'll let you out, goes to the castle, gets the key, goes down there, starts talking to Loki, and then for chapters, it's like, Loki, Sanji, Zoro, they're removed from the story. They're not there. Then finally, it's like, everybody's like, where are they? Where are you guys? We get back to them for one chapter, and then we get even more far removed from Loki, Sanji, and Zoro. Like, the trio has been so removed from the story that they basically aren't the story anymore. Right now, they're obviously going to get back to them, but the monster trio has been like, it's hilariously, annoyingly awesome all at the same time. Only Oda can make a story where I'm like, I want to keep reading every chapter, go back to this stuff, but also don't leave the stuff we're on. How am I feeling all three emotions at once? Like, it's just the cycle of like, where's Luffy? But also I don't want to see Luffy. But also I want to see Luffy. But where's Luffy? But also, like, it's just that over and over and over and over and over and over. It's so fucking great. Aren't the Celestial Dragons army called CP0? No, CP0 is not the army for the Celestial Dragons. CP0 is the highest of their information network. So remember, a CP0 is the Cipher Pole is a information and assassination network that works for the government, and each level is more discreet. So Cypherpole 1, those are basically like your think of it as your basic FBI agents. They just go around collecting evidence. And then it just keeps going up to there from 1 to 2 all the way to 8 is the official one, and then 9 is the secret one where they're all actually just secretly assassins. Like they don't collect information anymore. They just assassinate targets or capture targets that the government tells them to. Then Cypherpole 0 is their super secret one, where even the members the highest members aren't even allowed to show their faces. They have to wear masks all the time. and they work specifically only for the celestial dragons. So CP0 isn't an army; it's just a information and assassination network. The their actual one. Let me look it up. What is Saint Killingham? The Holy Knights. That's their army. Holy F. I couldn't believe I couldn't remember the name. Holy Knights. Yeah, the Holy Knights is the army for the Celestial Dragons. It's just a very small group of people that I think are Celestial Dragons that have been taught to fight. And so they are the warrior class of the Celestial Dragons. And because the Celestial Dragons is already a small group of people in the world, and then you take like 10% of that, it's going to be like, what, 100 people at most? But they're all like at this S tier level of power, where most people are at like C level. They're all at S level. And then they have the secret, oh, we can't take damage power that just lets them regenerate unless you do a very specific thing that only Scopper Gabon knows how to do. And obviously Silver's Rayleigh and Gold Roger probably do. But I mean, right now in the story, the only ones who know how to do it that can do something about it. But then also at the same time, apparently Marijois is on fire. Are we going to get back to that? Can we get back to Marijois is on fire, chat? Wait, I missed it if you said it. Do you think you'd be down for Roll to get through tonight, or probably not? I think so. No pressure to play. If it's no, I just say we stay at work longer. Okay, let me go ask Claire real quick because you need to know. Squawk. In the basement? How'd you get in the basement? Better be. Anyways, can I play Baldur's Gate tonight? Can I play games tonight? Yeah, we should be down to play for a few hours, but I also want to play some Peak, Doran. So after the next big thing, I want to play Peak. Just a heads up. I heard you guys had a run where everybody could have made it, but then Leo made like the worst decision possible. Peak before Baldur's Gate 3? Maybe. Maybe. I'll check. Well, I gotta make dinner after stream. So anyways, we gotta get back to the point of stream. I thank you for enjoying the One Piece rant. Holy half. One Piece is on fire right now. There was a point with Wano where I was like, oh, okay, I'm liking what I'm doing, but we're kind of taking forever to get to the story. After Wano, it's just been going up and up. Like, the story is, like, in its drive. Like, this is end game. See how fast we can move. Perhaps. Okay. So what we gotta do is we gotta take some stuff. I found some images online on the interwebs. And let me turn on some here. I'll put on some D&D music. Copyright free D&D music. We'll just type. First, I typed in copyright free D&D music on Spotify. The first result: Pokemon Lo-Fi, no copyright. You know, I'll just do my regular chill background because I don't want to risk it too much. All right, so I found some images online that I liked that kind of fit our maps, and then I just merged them together in Affinity Photo, and I'm gonna try and make them into maps here. Let me know if the music is too loud. I'm gonna turn it down on my headphones. Oh, Dorn, you're a bit of an audiophile. I think you'd enjoy this. I mean, you're not really an audiophile, but my friend who is an audiophile, and he's worked with the company that makes these to help them make them better. I just got these. The AKG N5005 piano black headphones. And I'm going to try them out later if you're interested. Let me just have a cookie real quick. I only have 2 more cookies, Chad, okay? I promise I won't be. Okay. Okay, that's notes. Right. So let's create a new folder and call it Frills Lab. And what color do we want to make it? Let's make it like a fiery red. And we'll put it more in the orange. There we go. That's more of a... There we go. And let's we'll call it floor 1. And background image. Choose a file. Oh, good. You guys don't see my folders. Lols. Where is it? Where is it? Campagons, Crossfire Incoming, Mapes, Frills Lab, and then Frills Lab floor 1. And then for now, we'll just leave it like that. Let's see how it looks. Bada bing. So those of you who weren't here, so we made the map based on, yeah, let me find it. Where's our Opera world map? Campaign images. So we put a tabletop. Nope, that's Looming Shadows. That's a different Campaign I'm doing. I wonder how long it'll be until it stops being annoying for me to say Campaign. So we had this image before, the one on the right, right? And then I just went online and I found this one that looks like kind of looks like the outside I had envisioned. And then this one looks like the area where they're all like collecting evidence and moving stuff around. And it kind of looks like an elevator here. It looks a little bit more high tech than I wanted, admittedly, but it's fine. It gets the idea across. And then I found this one, which is actually twisted the other way. This is supposed to be the bottom and this is supposed to be the top, but I just turned it to the side and I just kind of merged these 2 spots together. So this looks like a doorway. Like it actually looks like a clean image that fits together almost. You can tell like the art style is different, but it fits together. And then remember we had an area that's like a stable sort of that goes in. And I found this one here that fits in. And then, you know, and then I found this hallway image that kind of looks all techy, and then I just merged them together. So this one goes to here, this doorway opens into that, and yada yada, yada yada, yada yada. And and then instead of, I didn't want to make like a bunch of hallways that go this way. So I'm just going to have a hallway here, a door here, and a door here. And then if they go into the door, I'll just zoop their characters across. So that's our first map. And it actually looks pretty, like if we zoom in, it starts to get a little pixelated, but it's fine. It's not aligned, and that's okay. We'll fix alignment later if we decide. I might not even align it. Okay, so let's go floor 2. Where it is there? Background image. Choose file. Floor 2. And so floor 2, I did the same thing. I found an image that kind of looks like some offices, mutated offices. This looks like some guy's desk. This looks like a place with money, you know, kind of vault-like. And then this is like an observation room. A map that I found online. I was like, this works perfect enough. Like, it's not exactly how we detailed the bottom floor, but the idea is more to show them like, hey, there is a glass floor here looking down. That is unique. Not so much like what's looking through the glass floor. Um, if the final battle with Emu, Luffy starts in a war arc, who do you think will join Luffy in the battle besides the obvious? I don't understand your question. Rewrite that for me, Demon's Blades. I think I know what your question is, but I don't want to assume. So try writing it a second time, and I'll probably get it. And again, I took that hallway piece we had, and I just made hallways. Like, there's not a door here. Obviously, I'll just say, like, oh, there's a door behind a bookshelf that you guys find. That way they feel like they found something. If they explore this way first, or if they explore here, and they're like, oh, let's look around the room. Oh, this opens up, and blah, blah. So that's the second floor, and then the third and final floor, basement. And I can always rename these later. But for now, I'll just name them these. Because it makes it easier for me. And let's go to the basement floor. So it, again, I found 3 images that I liked. Here's what the lower floor is supposed to look like. This kind of testing room with all these chairs for people to be tested in and blood. And there's supposed to be these, remember we said there are electric wires hanging? And I found this one with these sticking out. And I was like, I'll just tell my players, hey, those are the electric wires. You know? And then here's the armory, that if they figure out that there's a secret door there and they cut through the vines, they'll get into the armory. And here's the map. I found a, is this a hexagon? 2, 4, 6, no, it's an octagon. I found an octagon that looked kind of mushroomy, and I was like, okay, I'll just make this. And then I thought of some ideas like, oh, there are some vines they can stand on the side, and da-da-da. And so now we've got our maps. We've got our maps. The only thing is, one, it's normal lighting. So if I go to my home screen, right, I've got this lighting with this candle light here, and I'll show you a neat thing I did. Can you guys hear that? If it sounds really quiet, it's supposed to be. It is actually pretty quiet. So this is my my home page, where there's a lot of cool stuff here. So double clicking this starts this song. So if I stop it and I double click, you see it plays. Then there's this that the players and I can click on to like get what loot they have, individual loot, the group loot, the bestiary if they want to like write some notes down about ant monsters. They might not ever touch the stuff. Just giving them the option though. Here's their list of jobs that they can do. So they don't know about. So here are their completed jobs. Steal the blueprints. They got screwed. They passed this part. They did not get the blueprints, though, because Tonga screwed them over. And then there was a skip the Citadel, gather info. They had to talk to all these different people to get their next quest line. And so currently they're in the progress of the choke the flames. Here's their friends and foes if they want to write that down for any of them to check at any point. And then they can pull up their own personal character sheets, which is awesome. Then there's, finally, this takes you to the map. So this is the map of my world I have, and we'll play this music so we have something playing in the background. I'll turn it down to like 40. So this is the map of my world, and then I have it like darkened out because they're here. They're in this city. This is kind of like their scope of reach right now. If they were to really push themselves to the limit, they could probably reach out to somewhere here. But right now, they're in this little spot here. Just this tiny little city in this huge world. And then they can go back by pressing that. I just wanted to show that off. It was so much cool. Fun. So to answer your question, Dune Blades, about who would join Luffy in a war against Emu, besides the obvious ones like Amazon Lily or Alabasta, I mean, Luffy would not make a war with Emu. Let's be honest. Luffy doesn't care. At the end of the day, he doesn't care if there's like an evil demon god who's hurting the planet and sucking away its resources. He only cares about on a very individual level. Are you hurting my friends? Are you hurting my family? You specifically. Right? So he would not start a war. The realistic answer is Dragon will start the war. And he's already started it. He's actually done a lot of work. If you want to see a video that talks about it in depth and is much better about it than I can be, look up the Grand Line review. He talks about what would happen. Who will join Luffy's side? The answer is all the characters we've met so far that like Luffy. I don't think any specific group will follow Luffy right now. Directly. That is. Not many nations will follow Luffy directly. Alabasta might because they know Luffy. Amazon Lily might because they know Luffy. The Fishman Island might because they know Luffy. But Dressrosa because they know Luffy. Like, I can list off the places Luffy has been will follow. The other places would not follow Luffy because Luffy is not a revolutionary. And in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of the newspaper, what do they see? What do they see in the propaganda that Big News Morgan always shows off? Big evil pirate! He has kidnapped Princess Lily! He killed Dr. Vegapunk! That's all they see. Is it true? No. But that's what they know. That's what they've been told. They have no other information that can tell them otherwise. So they're not going to follow him. Because they don't like him. You know who they will follow? Sabo. Sabo has actually been revolutionizing people. He's been working with the Revolutionary Army for years now. He's been helping other countries revolt. He's been helping get refugees out of countries that don't want to be in that country. He's been adding members in. He's actually a bigger member. He's the face of the Revolutionary Army now, bigger than Dragon. So if we're talking about countries and other islands, besides the ones Luffy has specifically gone to and specifically helped the people from, none of them are going to help him. You know, Alabasta will because he's been there. Like I said, Dressrosa because he's been there. Wano because he's been there. Whole Cake Island possibly because he's been there. Everybody else, like the Hamburger Kingdom, the Taco Kingdom, the Russian Kingdom. I'm not even joking, by the way. These are all real kingdoms. Where the mayor, the king of the place is literally called King Taco. Look it up. It's like, wow. You could not write that in the West without someone getting really mad at you. So those ones wouldn't follow Luffy. They would follow Sabo. Sabo's who they follow. And then Sabo would join forces with Luffy because Luffy and Sabo are brothers. And then inadvertently they would follow Luffy. So I can't answer for geo-national politics in One Piece because most of them have not been shown, and we don't know the politics of most places where their allegiance lies. We don't even know most islands in the universe. We think we know a lot of them. We don't. We know like maybe 20. And 20 isn't a small number. It's just not a lot. Not for One Piece. One Piece is apparently like 4 times as big as Earth. I should say the planet Blue Star. Looks so cool. Thank you. So let's go. Now we got to go. This is kind of boring, but it's also fun. Here's a map I got on Chepeku. I love Chepeku. This map is like pre-made, like drawn. They pre-make the walls. They pre-make the lighting for you. It was super awesome. Like when I downloaded it, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to do all the walls and stuff. And I just plopped it in and it was like, bam, done. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So let's see. This is where my players were last time. Let's take them and copy and paste their tokens. Do we want to do a grid? That's the next big question. I guess I could do a grid. Why does she not have vision? Why? Hmm. Is it because there's no lighting? Let me check configuration, lighting. And we'll, where's the light? Hey, cool, cool. And now they can now see. They can see. Good, good. Let me just move these guys to the corner for now. Who do you think, Demon Blades? Based on your question, what are your answers? Okay, next. Before we start making walls, we gotta line up this grid. Problem is, I don't know. Yeah, these grids don't align, so we might just get rid of the grids, and I might just tell my players, like, hey, follow the squares on the map. Because let's be honest, do my players need to be in exactly this square here? No, this square here. Right, for whatever spell that they're planning to do work. No. They can be anywhere on the map, and it's so long as they're following the visual squares. Like in real life, if I put a token in a square, right, and someone moves it a little, we're going to be like, oh, it's still in that one, obviously. Now, if it's moved halfway over, it's like, okay, you're not in the square. So I might just, I'm going to try a whole dungeon without grids. So let's get rid of grids. Gridless. Bada bing, bada boom. Look, now the map just works. Yeah, they can flee. They can go anywhere. Look, they could stand right in the middle. Oh no! I'll just be like, hey, where? Okay, you're there. Cool. We'll just map it out from there. Bing, 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 boom, blam, bloom, blim, blam, blam, blue. Okay, so that's the first thing we got to do. Second thing, we got to create walls. So we created light, right? Zagad said, "Let there be light." So now we've got to say, "Let there be walls." Build the walls. Yes, build them. Build them to keep out the evil elephants who want to steal all our hay. The lighting in Foundry is so freaking good. Like, I use not DC20, Roll20 for years. The lighting in that was, like, so finicky and annoying sometimes. Like, it would work, and then it would just be like, I don't wanna. You know, I realize that you want me to work, but I don't wanna. Is that okay with you? Cool. I have to cough. That's what I think. Albus is on the way for sure, but I personally think some of the warlords would join him, like Crocodile or even Doflamingo, maybe even Kaido and Big Mom, only because of self-interest, though. Well, we don't even know if Kaido and Big Mom are still alive. Just remember, Kaido and Big Mom fell into lava. Okay? If they are alive, people are going to be like, what the hell, Oda? So, there's a chance they might not even be alive. So I wouldn't think about Kaido and Big Mom. If you're talking about, like, Crocodile, Doflamingo, I don't know if Doflamingo will join sides with him, because Doflamingo legitimately is a bad person. And he actually believes in the Celestial Dragons. He wanted to be a Celestial Dragon. We call that a cough break. If I fake cough enough, I will usually end up actually coughing. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that wall there, because, for simple reason, we got to put a wall over here. And a wall here. And then, just so that way the bot doesn't get all freaked out, like, what do you mean? I think Katakuri could join, though. Could follow. But we will have to see. We will have to see, good sir. And then let's add a door. A door. Shrimple door. There we go. Now we've got the start of a map. We got. Here, I'll use Grandmaster Shellington. If he tries to walk, he can't go anywhere. He's stuck. Why can't I go? Bada bing, bada boom. And then he goes all the way up to here. Oh hey, the door's open. Cool. Let me through. Ah, door's closed. What the heck? Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go this way. There we go. We got our doors. Oh, I just realized I did what I did. I'm gonna do. If you guys don't know what that is, you're not one of the real ones. And you can't just say the obvious answer. You gotta say the specific. What is that? What specific game it's from? Answer. Hint: it's from a game. Got him. You guys never would have figured that out, would you? Huh. Okay, let's add the doors. It would probably help to add the doors. We'll just put a door here. That's fine. That's cute. And then this is an elevator. So we'll see how this looks if I do that. I don't think Big Mom and Kaido are dead, though, only because Luffy doesn't really kill, and Kaido and Big Mom's armament hockey are like crazy. Yeah, but they were also they were beaten out to where they were defeated. Luffy may not kill directly. That doesn't mean that they're not dead. And also, Luffy's not the one who fought Big Mom. Remember who did? Law and Kid. And do Law and Kid kill? Almost definitely. Almost definitely. That being said, they might not be dead. I'm not saying they definitely are. I'm just saying, remember, there's a high possibility they are. And I know a lot of people would be annoyed if they weren't. That's like the number one thing everybody doesn't like about One Piece is that characters who should be dead aren't. And they don't mean characters Luffy should have killed. They just mean, like, random ass NPC number 15. It's like, oh, I'm not dead. Why? Because plot armor. I feel like there are more characters that there are characters that have stronger plot armor than Luffy sometimes. Like fucking Pell. Pell 100% should be dead. He's not, but he should be. I'm just gonna have it cut off for the players. They won't read all this stuff. Trust me, I know players. They'll enjoy it, but they're not gonna read every little thing. We think we like to read everything, but we don't. We like to read most things. I realize the song, the music is repeating, so we will, let's play some other tavern music. Okay, these corners need to be readjusted. Okay, how's this wall looking? Looking very wall-like. Nice. We like, yes, we like to. It is impossible to read everything, but most is enough. What, Dark Noah? What did you just say to me? Literally, what did you just say to me? I'm so confused. Ooh, I just saw a place I could add some more walls. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. We're just leaving them willy-nilly for now. We can always fix them up in a minute. It's faster to just get the walls out there than it is to perfect them on the first try. We're not building a skyscraper. We're just building a D&D map. I will never get over that time my my 5th grade teacher was like, you have to get 100% on a test to be able to pass it. And when I said that doesn't make any sense, he's like, well, if 2 people are making a bridge and they don't make it 100% the same on both sides, the bridge will fall apart. And even as a kid, I was like, that doesn't fucking make sense. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, you just don't understand because you're too young. And even as an adult, I'm like, that's not true at all. Okay, this one has a bit more wallsies than the last one did. Because there will be more hiding spots. There's going to be a hiding game. A stealth section, if you will. A place for hiding. Hep, 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 hep. Hep, 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 hep. Hep, 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 hep. Hep, 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 hep. You know what? I'll add a little doorway here so they can hide in here. I didn't think of this until I was making this map, but it would be cool if there was like a little area they could hide inside of. I know this is a locker room. It doesn't matter. Also, oh, that's where the sleeping guard will be. Easy. Holy heck. Look at me using my noggin. My gnoggin. My not gun. What is that? It's a not gun. What does it do? It does not gun. Oh, a not gun. Okay, let's zoom out. Remember, we don't need the walls to be perfect. We just need them to be good. We'll fix any mistakes later. Chat knows all about my mistakes. Don't remind me. Why do you gotta keep nagging me about all the things I forgot, chat? Eh. I forgot to do a question of the day. Oh, well. Only Yuki really asks those. Okay, let's... This is why I have to do it afterwards. I will spend so much extra time just getting the walls out there to be perfect if I don't do it later. Accident. I'll have it go 1 over. That's safer. Okay, okay. Now let's test out these rooms a bit. I like the background music. Thank you. I also like it. Okay, so now we need to add light. What color do we want? We'll have these 3 lights. Actually, we'll just make this one red. And what kind of light do we want to go with? No, not chroma. Not energy. Not fairy light. Ghostly light could work. Hex dome. Light dome. We'll go with light dome. And this one will just be a regular red glow, let's say. And we'll actually lower it to 6 and 2. And then we'll add like a little bit of orange energy coming from here. And then we'll copy it over here. Okay, let's see how this looks now. So this place is a little dark. They'll have to put on their torch. And then they enter here. Now it's like all dark and mysterious. And then their eyes will be brought to this dark spot that they can walk into. And I'll be like, that's the elevator. You need a key. The guy in white has the key. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And I'll just open all the doors for now. So that way we can see how it looks. And then we got to do the next area with light. I don't think this area would actually be darked out. This would be darkened out. This would have some light, but it would just be like flickering lights. Let's do one there. One there. One there. And we'll just say they're regular off. Where's the flicker? Flicker, flicker. No, this is the flickering. Oops, not force grid, flickering. And then the didn't know I could do that. And then the last room will have no light. So they'll come in here. They'll see there's no guards unless they go in, oh, hello. There's a sleeping guard. Do, 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 do. And they come in here, and there's no light. So they'll need to bring their own light. And then if they get to the door, I'll just go. Ooh, doo, doo. Wow, that is slow. Cool. So we've got our first floor down. Hello, Optimus Philip. How are you today? How is it being an Optimus? I might got a little bit of a nappy going on. Alright, floor 1 is done. We got the walls. We got the light. Now we go to floor 2. Floor 2. We'll take this token and reuse it because we know it works. I'm doing all right. My sinuses have been acting up, so I've been trying to take it easy. Well, just smack your sinuses in the ass and say, stop it. Bad sinuses. And if they don't respect you then I got nothing. Okay. Apple papu. Why don't you strap to your chair clock house orange style? Because there are other things I want him to watch more than Naruto, for starters. Like One Piece. And second, I'm not a psychopath. Those are my two reasons. I want him to watch One Piece more than Naruto, and he's like, oh, it's so many episodes. I'll catch up when it's almost done, which I fucking hate. Because then he's just going to zoom through it, and it's like, well, you won't talk to me about any of the cool stuff that happens in between. You'll just talk about the end. Okay, wall. 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 Wow. Wow, 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 Luigi. This is my evolution to a Waluigi. Wow. You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. We are eternally grateful. To be fair, One Piece does have a pacing problem. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should just binge through the whole series when it's over. Have you read and or watched One Piece Demon Blades? Would you watch or read it again? If the answer is yes, then the pacing problem is not a good reason to just wait till the whole series is over. And if you do that, you're going to miss out on like the fun stuff of like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. What is going on? You're just going to know because you're going to binge through all of it. Like, you don't get that moment with your friends where it's like, oh my god, is Luffy, who's Emu? You just get to the point where it's like, oh, I know who Emu is. And you're just waiting for them to reveal it. You're not like, it gets rid of part of the point of the mystery. Like, you don't read a book in one sitting most of the time. Unless you read a lot. Some people do. I don't know. I just don't like binging. I legitimately hate it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just an old grump. Boo ba boo, doo 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 doo, ba doo ba boo ba boo, boo da boo ba boo, ba boo ba boo ba boo ba boo ba boo ba. I mean, I'm a little different because I like One Piece, but I feel like it sticks on It's one too long, but then again, I feel like I started One Piece too late. Like I'm still stuck on Dressrosa. Are you reading it or watching it? Because if you're watching it, that's why you're stuck. Because watching it is super slow. Because you cannot go any faster. I mean, you could watch the episode 2x speed. If you're stuck and you can't get past it and you want to get past it, I highly recommend you read it. I highly recommend you just start reading it to get through it. Yeah, watching it, everybody agrees. Dressrosa is the worst paced season of the entire show. Worst paced arc, I should say. Like, it is really, really badly paced. And it kind of marred the animation company, Toei, and the fans' expectations of the anime for a long time. Until Wano, that is. What was the last thing you did for watching Dressrosa? Last thing I saw was Luffy's entering the tournament and he just beat the boxing king guy. Oh, King Riku? Not King Riku. I'm forgetting his name. Okay, so you're still in the early-ish parts of that story then. Okay. Okay, good to know. Then I highly, highly recommend you try reading it. It might go by a lot faster for you if you just read it. And you'll probably end up enjoying it more, and then get back to watching it afterwards. Trying to decide what games I want to get with my Switch 2. I'm going for the Mario Kart bundle. Planning to get the upgraded packs for the games I own. I mean, you don't really have a lot of choices. The choices, the library isn't very big right now, so I would pick the game you are most likely to play again or continue to play. Like, if you play Pokemon often, you join tournaments online and stuff like that, I would get the ones for Pokemon. If you like replaying Zelda, what do you call it? Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, then I would get those. If you like them equally, I would get one of each. I would pick either I would personally pick Breath of the Wild because I like that more than Tears of the Kingdom. But that's another thing. I would pick Breath of the Wild and Scarlet or Violet. Because those are the games you're most likely going to play. Oh, we also got to put a door here. That way it's easier for the players to know where the elevator is if they won't have to go back. Okay, let's see. I don't play Pokemon, and the Zelda games are among the games I already own and plan on upgrading. Then what do you have left to pick from that's like really worth getting on the Switch 2? Because then it's just Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and then the 2 Zelda games. So it's just those 4 games, right? Unless you're trying to cut it down to 2. In which case, I would say just get Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, because those are Switch 2 exclusives. And again, unless you plan to replay Zelda a lot, the upgrade isn't worth it, in my opinion. If you really like that game, then get it. If you like it, like, you have to, like, it has to be one of your favorite games, in my opinion, to be worth getting the upgrade. Alright, I'll say there's minimal lighting in here and here. And then here, there's actual lighting. Actually, let's try to make these equal. Let's see, orange, flickering. Oh, and I forgot to configure. First gridless, then lighting. What color is it? Okay, it's that orange color. And then we'll just copy it for the... And then here we'll make one bright green. Do we want to do a pulse? No, that's too... Yeah, we'll do the smoky one. It's not super noticeable, and it does look different than a flickering. It just gives it enough animation to be unique, but not so much to where it's like, oh my god. Again, we're going to open up all the doorways just to... let's actually make these a bit bigger. First, let's... Oops. We'll say this room is fully lit up. And then... let's make this 4 by 2. Okay, 4 by 2. Yeah, we'll just make the ones on the desk a little bit brighter. Okay, so going into this room, it's just fully bright. There's full power here. And then going into the treasure vault room, there's no light. There's a smattering of third-party games, but I'm probably just going to get Donkey Kong. I mean, there's always going to be a lot of third-party games, but are they Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive third-party games? The answer is probably not. So I would, if you're buying a Switch 2, you should focus on buying it for games you can only get on the Switch 2. It's why I got the PS6. PS6? Yeah, PS6. No, PS5? PS5. So my brain is so fried. I got the PS5 because there were games that are only going to be on PlayStation that I want to play. Like the Horizon Zero Dawn series. I love that series. The Spider-Man games. I loved one. I enjoyed two. I think it was a solid step back from one. It had some positives, but a lot of the story was a downgrade from one. Anyway, what's another game? I'm sure there are other games I've gotten. I mean, there's the Kingdom Hearts series, which I've always loved and I've always preferred playing on PlayStation. And PlayStation 5 was my first PlayStation that I ever owned. I always borrowed Andrew's. So I have all those games. Then the DMC games that I've been playing on for stream. So there are plenty of games that I'm playing just on my PlayStation. And it's better to run them on PlayStation than Switch. And it's easier to play games together on the console than it is to on my computer. I was thinking Andrew should start with Naruto first because there's more myth references, and I feel he would enjoy catching the references. That may be true, but there are honestly a lot of myth references in One Piece as well. There are a lot that if you don't know them, you're not gonna notice them. Naruto only has, I think, I can only think of like a handful or two of myth references, and even then, they're not full references. They're just words from Japanese mythology that were used in the series. It's the equivalent of whenever somebody calls it's the equivalent of in what's it called? One of the Resident Evil games. The final weapon you use is called the Blade of Paracelsus. Do you know who Paracelsus is? No. Who he was in real life was he was a Greek philosopher, and he had a lot of he did a lot for philosophy and thinking about humankind and things like that. Does that equate to a giant laser gun? No. It's the Naruto myth references are the equivalent to that. They're a little bit closer to the real myth, but not in actuality. Like there's obviously Orochimaru, Jiraiya and Tsunade, and the Slug Master, the Toad Master, and the Snake Master, and their story. And then in Naruto, they are the same things, but their characters are not the same. Like Orochimaru is not some guy who's trying to get immortality, from what I can tell. Tsunade is not some big booby lady who can flick people across the room, and Jiraiya is not some big pervy guy. And then I know there's the Sharingan jutsu, the Tsukuyomi, Izanami, and stuff like that, Amaterasu, which are named after myth gods, but after that, they don't mean anything. Like Amaterasu is the goddess of the sun. That doesn't mean black flames. That, if you get what I mean. But you might be right. It also might be easier for him because then it's only 700 episodes versus 1,100 episodes. But I just like One Piece so much more now, especially. Mainly that it's that last arc of Naruto I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the final arc. The guy who was making it, I'm forgetting his name. He rushed through it because he was getting bored of writing it. And then Kaguya just comes out of nowhere. I don't hate the final arc. I just like the arc. In my opinion, the best arc is the 6 Paths of Pain with Jiraiya and then post-Jiraiya death. Okay, now we gotta add lighting to here. Okay, let's say there's no lighting here. There's like very little. And then here, yeah, we'll say there's actually no lighting in here either. So they'd have to have a torch. That way it's a resource they have to worry about. And then is there a... Okay, first we'll make it like electric blue. And then, no, not pulsing, not revolving. Swirling fog kind of works. We'll do an energy field. That's how I'm going to represent electricity. Blue energy field. It's supposed to be flickering lights. Maybe I'll just do a flicker. Let's see if a flicker would work better. And then let's speed it up. Yeah, that works better for what I'm trying to do. There we go. Kishimoto, yeah, the final arc was done terribly. I feel like bringing back dead characters was cool. It's done poorly because it didn't add to anything. Like, some characters got their final closure, but bring back Zabuza and Haku was kind of dumb. No, I don't mind the bring back part. I thought the bring back the dead ninjas and as zombies was fucking cool. I thought that was freaking cool. What I didn't like was the Kaguya story just kind of coming out of nowhere and being like, actually, it was just to bring back Kaguya. And it's like, oh, okay, this villain that we hadn't known about this whole time. It should have just stayed Madara. Madara should have stayed the main villain. He was so freaking cool. They should have just ended it with Madara and found a way to bring Madara back in. I just realized I say this like kind of the most weeby, Madara. But that's just how my brain is just locked into that. Let me lock all these close. Let me be, and then we'll test how this looks. Yep, you can't see. And they'll need a torch. Good. It makes this kind of spookier. In fact, I will actually add there we go. Make it even creepier. Like it just... Oh, this shocking energy. Just to show that it's like the lights here aren't quite working. And we'll actually update one of these lights. We'll give this one the flicker animation. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, you know what? Actually, I just thought of a way to make it even more cinematic. We'll do it with all of them, right? And then we'll lower their strength. So flickering light. 8, 7. And then we'll lower this to a 10. And this to a 7. Yeah, that way they still see the whole area, but it, actually, maybe we'll lower them even more. Let's lower them. Let's see how low it looks as a, 8, 3. Ooh, let's try that. Yeah, so there's a little bit of darkness, but it's still, you can mostly see everything. Okay, this is good. I think this looks good. That's good. God, it takes forever for it to slide across. That'll probably be good. Okay, cool. We're now gonna delete our token here, so that way they don't accidentally, that player doesn't have 2 by accident. And we're gonna be right back. How did I get into Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, I'll tell you the story of how I got into it, because the story of how I learned about it and the story of how I got into it are 2 very different stories. The way I got into Dungeons and Dragons, I really like board games. Like, I have a shelf of board games. Literally, I have 3 shelves right out off screen. You can, they're right behind this TV, sort of board games. And I had gotten some new board games, and I really wanted to play them with people, and I was like, I'm going to invite a bunch of people over to my house for a board game night. Right? And I didn't really plan what game we were going to play. I just said, hey, let's have a game night. And so some friends came over, and one of my friends was like, oh, we're going to play D&D, right? And I was like, no. And he's like, do you want to? And I was like, I'll try it. I've tried it once before. I didn't like it, but I'll try it again. And this guy's a good friend of mine. So if he likes something, I'll usually like it. And he had like such good energy with it that I was like, okay, I'll try it. And we made our characters that night. We took like 4 hours to make our characters because most of us didn't know what we were doing. He didn't bring a book or anything because I didn't have a book. But then I got excited. I was like, okay, I'm interested. And then he walked us through. He's like, okay, this, da-da-da. He was talking about all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested now. And so then we did, a week later, played again. And I was having a lot of fun. And so then I started watching YouTube videos about D&D. I started buying dice. I started learning about a bunch of different stuff. About the lore and the history of Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And then he was like, I'm sorry, being a DM is way too stressful for me. Can someone else take over? And I was like, sure. Not me, but another player of ours took over, and we started running Pathfinder 2e, which is basically D&D, but it's a different system. And we played that for like half a year until that fizzled out because some stuff happened. We just kept inviting way too many players, and I was just like, I can't anymore. And for years, that same friend, he still played D&D, and he was like, oh, my campaign is going this, with my other DM, it's going this way. And so I kept trying, and then during the pandemic, me and my friends all suddenly got into D&D because there was this one YouTuber named Arcadum who was a huge D&D streamer at the time. Like every big streamer was in one of his campaigns. He was running like 6 campaigns a week. It was really cool and really interesting, and people were getting into him. So I was like, hey guys, do you want to play the first Dungeons and Dragons campaign? We tried to do a Pokemon D&D, and it did not work. It did not work. It's not good. I'll tell you that. And then so I was like, okay, we'll try Lost Mines of Phandelver, the intro campaign for new DMs and new players for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Let's try that. And my friends were like, sure. And we did that. We played through it. We all had fun. And I was like, sweet. We'll do the next one. And everybody's like, the next best story to follow is Storm King's Thunder. And I was like, I'll try that. People say they don't like it, but maybe they just don't like it, and I do. And we played that for months, and it doesn't work very well. It's not very fun. It feels very MacGuffin-y at times. I didn't like it. And then I was like, guys, I need a break. Someone else run D&D. And one of my friends was going to run it, and then that got stalled forever, so we didn't run that until eventually I ran another game. And I've been running ever since. So I got into D&D because of a friend of mine, and I've been running since 2020. So for 5 years now. So not that long. I unintentionally got into the hype when everybody else did. See, everybody else got into the hype right before and right around the pandemic because, Critical Role and stuff like that. I never got into Critical Role. I didn't get into Stranger Things until after I was into D&D even. So I kind of naturally got into D&D. Like, for a person who got into it at the time I did, I got into it probably the most natural way you could. Like, I never got into Critical Role. The one thing that did get me really into D&D was YouTube. And there was one YouTube channel called TFS Gaming that I really liked at the time. And they started a D&D channel. Or not a D&D channel, but a D&D game. And I was like, I'm going to watch that. And I loved their D&D game. Highly recommend you go watch it. Only one negative I have with it is one of the players was one of the main people in the company, and he left the company partway through their campaign. So their campaign completely shifted gears after he left. And so they basically had a new campaign after that. But it's a really good watch. Go watch the original TFS at the Table. It's so good, in my opinion. We're going to go on a break real quick, and we'll be back. All right, we're back, chit. Okay, so now we've got to fill this place with monsters. And there are 3 monsters we said would be in these dungeons. We said there would be Ent Warriors, alchemists. Oh, 4 ant warriors, alchemists, giant rats, and an evil myconid that has tentacles and plants growing everywhere. So we're gonna put those in. So we're gonna shift gears to how I make tokens. So first we're going to let me boop da beep bop boop ba. Ba doop ba beep blah 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 blah. No, that's obsidian. I don't want to change that. Nice swoosh. So now we're just gonna look for some D&D monsters. So we already have our Ent Warriors, I'm pretty sure. Let me, because I make a lot of my Turkins myself. Did I name it a soldier or warrior? Is it guard? So I'm just looking through my tokens to find my humanoids. Humanoids. Oh, hi, Milk. I didn't see you there. Good milking. Boo ba, boo ba, boo ba. Where are you? Did I not make a token for these guys? I'm pretty sure that I did before. Where are they? Yeah, they're just called town guards. Okay. Okay, so we have the town guards. We don't got to worry about them. We do got to make... Do I have them under NPCs instead of monsters? I do. That explains it. Okay, let's look for giant radioactive rats. D&D. Okay, so we got some good pictures here. We got some good ones. There's this one that's kind of pussy. Got this one that looks like really fucking fucked up. Got this one that just looks like a giant rat. This one might be what I'm looking for. I do want them to look creepy though. Like really creepy. Maybe not that one. That one, oof, that makes me feel uncomfortable. But that one freaks. That one will have be the boss. This one will have be the boss guy. What did we name him again? Don't know if we named him. What am I looking for? Tabletop. Big boy rat. That is not what we named him. Did we give him a name? Nash. We named him Nash. That's right. Nash. Nash no wish to speak to you. Nash no trust human. Nash. Okay, and then now let's look for some creepy looking rats. This is a creepy looking rat. We'll say this is the mother rat. Mother rat. And these are the regular ones. giant rat. Okay, now that we've got our rats, we have to think, what is our next monster? So we've got the town guards, we've got the rats. The myconid. I think I have a picture of an evil myconid I found. Did I not have a picture of an evil myconid? Where did I save it? I'm so bad at saving things in good places. Oh yeah. I found a couple. I'm not sure which one I want to go with. You know, I'll go with this one. And you'll see it in a bit. And then our final one is Evil Vines. Thorny Vines. Ooh, there we go. That's a good one. That's a good image. Or maybe... There we go. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. It looks like a monster, but not quite. Okay, so I'll just call it Thorny Vines. And now we'll show you how I make all my tokens. Boo, ba, boo, ba, boo. Wow, it doesn't show you. That's annoying. Okay, so you won't be able to see the process. I mean, I could show you my screen, I guess. There we go. Okay, now you can see it. Sweet. Now we just open up all our myconids. Or all our pictors. And let me just do that. Oops, I opened that with Affinity Photo. Let's close Affinity Photo. Goblin, what are you doing? Stop it. I'm meowching you. Sorry, my arm is really itchy right here. Got like a pimple or something. Or infected hair follicle. Where are the other rats? Okay, so we have the town guards. Oh, we also forgot the alchemist. Let me look up a D&D alchemist. Hazmat suit? Ah, that quality is so bad. There, I found one that fits what I'm looking for. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Alchemist, where'd I put it? Alchemist, where'd I put you? Yes, hello? Goblin, what are you doing back there? Do I have to kick you out? Yes. Be inside your box. Stay in your box. Oh, you're just attacking the box. Okay, I don't care. I don't care if you attack the box. And then let's open you up. Okay, so we're gonna take we're just gonna take these images we found. And first, we're gonna take this and copy it, and then we're gonna open Goblin. I might have to kick my cat out in a second. We didn't name him, if I'm not mistaken, Plant Thing. Is there a werewolf character in D&D? Because I've seen a few D&D streams, and I always had a cool idea for one as part of the party. Okay, we're banning bots. Anybody who does that, we're banning. Spam. What's the worst type of cheese in your opinion? Goblin fits a name for cats. Yes, thank you. So the thing with werewolves in D&D is you can make a character a werewolf for D&D, but you'd either have to nerf them or make it really... How do I explain it? You can do it.
Food delivery.
No, you're not gonna finish that? Okay. Look. They love the package.
Of course he does.
Guys, I got a free food delivery. Rice with curry. So the thing with making a werewolf for D&D is you can do it. It's not impossible. It's just gonna be... They wouldn't have to be your tradition. They couldn't be your traditional werewolf. And you would have to make it clear to them that they can't be the traditional werewolf. Or if they are, they would only be able to use their powers very limited. And that kind of gets rid of the whole power fantasy that people have. Like, that means now you have to track the phases of the moon in your world. And you have to decide what sessions is your player going to go on a hulking out rage where he can't control himself. And so it can work, but that's a lot of work. If you go traditional, right? Like, oh, he can't control himself. He goes into a monster mode. Well, this whole session, the main character, the guy is useless. He can't control his character. He has all these cool powers, and he's fucking terrifying, and he's got this terrifying backstory. But for a whole session, he's a useless part of the party. He doesn't do what needs to be done. So then you have to tweak it, right? So now you give the player, okay, he gets full control when he's werewolf. Cool. So he's a werewolf, he has full control, but you have to rely on him to play the fantasy of the werewolf of, I'm werewolf, I'm a big monster, right? Instead of just being like, oh, I'm going into my super form, rah, and then I attack. And then he acts just like, I am still just Jacob who studies books. I am just a wolf man now. Now it's like, okay, why are you even playing a werewolf if you're just gonna be like, this is just my power form? Just play like a druid who has like a spell that can give him a wolf form or whatever, right? Or like some sort of beast hybrid humanoid, like a wolf version of an Aarakocra. And then, so it's like, okay, now they have to act bestial, and you have to track the phase of the moon. Let's say you do all that right. Now the player also only gets that power whenever the DM just lets them have it. Whereas everybody else, like the monk can decide to do a backflip and like punch the enemy like 3 times, like bam, 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 knock him out, do a bunch of damage. The paladin can decide whenever he wants, I will smite him with the power of God. The barbarian can go, I decide to rage. The wizard says, I cast spell whenever I want, so long as I have spell slots, right? Whereas the werewolf player now, I don't get to werewolf because it's not full moon. So there are multiple sessions where they don't get to werewolf just because. So now you got to tweak that. It's like, oh, you're a special one. You're like a prime werewolf. It's just a transformation ability. Well, now if it's just a transformation ability and it's super powerful, right? Like werewolves are supposed to be like super powerful beings. Think of the Hulk in Marvel Universe. And imagine if Bruce Banner could just turn into the Hulk whenever he wanted to and then turn it off. Now that sucks as a person, but if you're playing a game, you get all this cool powers. And that's cool for that one person. They get to, once per combat, become this super powered version of themselves. Just destroy everything. Whereas all the other players feel kind of weak in comparison. They're like, and then everybody else is like, can I get some power-ups too? And now all your characters are just Omega level at level 3, right? They're basically level 20 at level 3. So now you have to turn the werewolf down. It can't be a 10 out of 10 power. It has to be a 2 out of 10 power. And then you have to make it to scale with players. So you can do it. It is 100% possible. It's just a lot of work on the DM side. And then the player has to agree to all these changes. You might be able to find a homebrew that works pretty decently. So the answer is you can do it. It just requires work. Hey, am I the only one here? What you're talking about? Can he see me typing? Bloodhunter has a good option. Order of the Lycan. I don't know anything about Bloodhunter, Order of the Lycan. Because that's like a half homebrew, half official class. It's not fully official. It's a homebrew official. So I can't say anything for that. But do they have the full hulking out into a big wolf monster? Should be ready for pickup tomorrow. Couldn't use my employee discount on this for reasons. Hopefully it's worth it. I placed my order for my Switch 2 along with a Pro controller, screen protector, and a copy of Donkey Kong. Personally, I would have held off on the Pro controller until the actual game came in. But if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. I'm going to say this real quick. No matter what I say is worth it, right? The only person who can answer what is worth it for the Switch 2 is you. What would make you happy if you were playing it? I personally think that for the Switch 2 specifically, I would only get Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza right now. Because I don't care enough about Pokemon. And I like older Zelda titles more than the modern ones. And I don't really want to replay Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. What was I going to say? But I also think that just logically, like, new game better than old game if buying new console. Does not mean new game always better than old game. Me think Majora's Mask and Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door, 2 favorite game. They much old game. They both over 20-year-old old game. But if buy new console, me get new game for new console. That me thought process. Matt Mercer made Bloodhunter. I know Matt Mercer made Bloodhunter, but that's why I say it's an official unofficial, an official homebrew, basically, because it wasn't made by the D&D team. Bloodhunter, the Lycan form is balanced by the danger of losing control when taking damage at half health. I have to take your word for it because I've never had Bloodhunters in my game. I've never had someone ask to be a Bloodhunter. I've never allowed Bloodhunters. Most of my players have played the core characters. If one of them had asked, I would have read about it and been like, okay, we can try it. But if it starts to feel OP, I'm going to say no. But none of my players even asked. I can be in stream, but I'm deafened, so could someone transcribe everything important? Alright, guys, since Yuki's deafened, start writing out an outrageously long paragraph that I wrote, and then send it out in half sentences, because the bot will ban you if you write too long of a sentence. Just start writing out really long sentences about what's important, and start them all with Yuki. Start them with important information to mess with Yuki. Let's see how he reacts. Just come up with a wild theory. Make sure it doesn't go against TOS though. Make sure it doesn't go against TOS. I don't want to get banned or have to ban you. So anyways, this is how I'm gonna make my tokens. We copy this picture. We're gonna paste it down here, and we oops, I skipped a step that I want to show you because I'm just so used to doing it. So we paste, and it's gonna say expand canvas or keep canvas size. We want to keep it in this size, so we're gonna say keep canvas size. And you notice it doesn't fit here. Oops. So then we're gonna take our mouse and we're gonna hold the shift button. If we don't hold the shift button, look, I can do this. If I don't, and notice how that aspect ratio doesn't look right. So we're gonna hold the shift button. So look, now it stays in the same aspect ratio. And we're gonna shrink it down a bit. We're gonna center it. And then sometimes I'll make it even bigger so it's just like its face is what they're looking at. Sometimes I want them to see like the whole character art. But I don't want any open spots because this will just come out as blank on the token. So we got to make sure it fills. And I think I'll do... Goblin. You're being a rowdy goblin. You have one more chance before I kick you out of here. Yeah, go ahead. You can talk about them. Just make sure, Sebastian, when you do it, you keep your messages not too long. If they get too long, the bot will time you out for too long of a message. So I will tell you when it starts becoming too much or I don't care. But for now, just type it. Send it out. Just keep it kind of about the length you're doing now should be good for the bot. Another question I have for D&D. What class matches a swordsman? Something akin to Jaime Lannister or Zorro? Well, Zorro and Jaime Lannister are actually very different types of characters when it comes to classes. Because when you think of Zorro, he's more of a swashbuckling kind of rogue-like character. He uses a saber, whereas Jaime Lannister uses a longsword, a more traditional long or bastard sword. And his fighting style is more slow and defensive, whereas Zorro's is more quick-paced and jab and slash, right? So the answer to those questions, in my opinion, would actually be 2 or 3 different characters. For Jaime Lannister, I would say a fighter or a paladin would fit lore-wise. For Jaime Lannister, and then for Zorro, I would say either a swashbuckler rogue or a bard. The Bard of Valor, I believe is what it's called. Understood. You got a Discord? I do have a Discord. Type an / Discord and it should bring up the link. Let me know if it works. Okay, so now that we have this picture here, we're gonna click this button here, the magic wand, and we're gonna go to our layer for the circle, and we're gonna click in here. Now you might notice it mostly has the edges of the inner circle. However, there's some areas that are open. So we're gonna go up to the tolerance. I'm gonna just raise it up until it goes a little past the inner circle. Oops. And then we're just gonna go down 1 level. There we go. So 73%. Now we're gonna take this image here. We're gonna Control C or copy, and then go to our empty layer, Control V. Now it might look like nothing has changed, but if we turn this layer off, bada bing, bada boom, we now have the picture in the token. And my goblin wants to go. Gobbles. Gotcha. Okay. Goblin wants to say goodbye, everybody. Goblin wants to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. I'm Goblin, and I'm gonna go do some goblin stuff now. Meow. Bye, Gobbles. Have you finished the game? I remember grinding Cyberpunk 27 last year very slowly, like one quest a day since it was a busy semester. Blood Hunter is basically a monster who hunts monsters kind of deal. Use blood magic as your main, and the sub class is the preferred spooky thing you like or want to hunt. Oh, interesting. So it's like a darker version of a ranger, sort of, with more magic. We talking One Piece Zoro or Zoro the Pulp Hero? I assumed you were talking Zoro the Pulp Hero. Any way for a mobile guy to join? I can't copy paste. Join what? You should be able to, on mobile, get to the Discord, by clicking that link, and it should open up the browser. Otherwise, I'm not sure how to help you. I can tell you the name of it. The name of the Discord is the Dragon's Den, and you can just look for my logo. Which is my purple dragon holding a Z. Here, let's see. I just realized I showed some of my Discord. My friends post weird shit in Discord. Here, we'll go to the actual Discord. So it'll have that, the Dragon's Den. Where's my channel art? Logo? It'll have this logo, or more specifically, this one. This is the logo for the Discord, so have fun with that. Now, where were we? First, we'll go Foundry there. Okay, so now that we have our token, we're just going to save as, and make sure it's set to PNG and not, it'll start off as paint.net if you're using paint.net. PNG, and then I just got to go to my folders. Finish token, monsters. What am I going to name this? Myconid boss. And then it has to flatten, then we undo. And then we're going to delete. And we move on to the next one. And I'm just going to quickly go through these. We need to put a white background for this. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that in radiated rat. And then we'll call this radiated rat mother. Anyway, for how would vampires work in a party? Again, it would a lot like the werewolf thing. They would have to be a very nerfed version of a vampire, where they don't get any of the special abilities vampires get in D&D. And you would also have to tone down the weaknesses, like the weakness to sunlight. If they had that, the player would be screwed. They'd constantly have to roleplay finding an umbrella. I just think most players wouldn't enjoy that. Especially since vampires are actually pretty busted in D&D. I remember back in 2nd edition, vampires actually had the ability to make you lose levels if they bit you. So you can do it. You just have to basically change most of what makes a vampire a vampire. You could have them keep their blood sucking ability. Actually, I should... I'm not going to use a special one for Nash. I'm lazy. This will be our alchemist token. And then we go back to monsters. Alchemist. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the screen sharing and we're going to go back to Affinity. Oh, hey, it was under DaVinci. Neat. Sorry, I'm late. It's okay, Terminate. What's with the rat? We're making these are our D&D tokens. This is, remember we said if you were here the last few Fridays, there's some irradiated rats in here. I like the music. So do I. That's why I added it. Thank you, Dark Noah. Would Andrew ever play D&D? He currently plays in my D&D campaign. My Looming Shadow, not this campaign, my other campaign that I run in person. This is my online campaign. My Looming Shadow campaign, he plays in that one. For those of you who are here for it, let me bring up Obsidian. Where is it? Do you remember when we were making like the salting of the sacking of Salt Bite, and like a bunch of council members and stuff? That was for that campaign. The Discord YouTube mode won't let me copy and it doesn't show up as a hyperlink. It should let you copy. Here, let me check. Here, I'll go on YouTube Mobile. YouTube Mobile. The Zagad's Den. Let's see. That's dumb that mobile doesn't let you copy and paste it. That's really dumb. Here. If you go on Google on your phone, go to Discord. What do I call it again? I think I call it the Dragon's Den. Yeah. Not the Drain's Den, the Dragon's Den. Let's see. Nope, not that one. There's so many called Dragon's Den. That's actually kind of hilarious. Unfortunately, I don't know how to help you there. If you go on the YouTube, let me see if it works on the YouTube app. If I go to the non-vertical one. Damn, that's stupid that you can't copy and paste. That's YouTube's fault. That's 100% YouTube's fault. I don't know how to fix that. Huh. I can, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to help you there, unfortunately. Your best bet is to go on your computer. The token thing is pretty cool. I like that. I'm glad you liked it. You know, it's fun watching a stream deafen and missing all sorts of context makes it much funnier. I'm watching you, Yuki. Everybody type let's think of something ridiculous. Type Yuki important information and then colon. Zagger just announced he will never play Expedition 33 again. Just say that in the chat. Everybody just be like, oh my god, you're never going to play Expedition? Why do you hate Expedition 33? And see how long it takes Yuki to figure it out that we're messing with him. Hear me out. Conversation start. Hear me out. Absol. I mean, Absol is a cool Pokemon. What would be your recommendations for people who want to get into D&D? Mind friending me? I would not like to friend random people. I am sorry. Unfortunately, that is not on the agenda today. I can't help you there, Horse. Sorry. If someone else wants to friend you, they can. I would not. Why? Thank you, Terminate. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I hate Expedition 33 totally. You guys are the greatest. I love you guys. Let's see how long it takes Yuki to like read that. Someone can even add him. Oh wait, he might not see. He'll see it in the chat down below. I just realized. Let's see if we can really meme on him. No more cheese for you. So my recommendation for people who want to get into Dungeons and Dragons. There's no right way to get into it. There are wrong groups to play with. And sometimes a friend of yours who's really, really cool in every aspect is a terrible person to play D&D with. So that's my first thing I'll tell you. So don't expect your friends to be good D&D players. That being said, my personal opinion, the best way to get into D&D is to ask 3 of your friends, 3 to 5 of your friends, no more than that. Ask 3 to 5 of your friends if they'd be down to try it. Even 5 is a bit much. 3 to 4 might be a better start. And then I would run the campaign, The Lost Mines of Phandelver. Here, I'll look it up on screen so you can see it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. It'll look like this. This is how the box art looks. I have it in my chest behind me. Get it on Lost Mines of Phandelver. Look it up. And you can buy it. There are also non-buyable PDF versions, if you know what I mean. But I do recommend you buy it because it'll come with... you could get it in the D&D starter set. Let's see. Is this the one? No, this is a new one. Yeah, this one. This starter set will come with the 3 main rule books, the player's handbook, the DM's guide, and the Lost Mines of Phandelver game story engine, and then a couple of character sheets you can use if you're going to play in person. If not, you can buy the online version on your preferred role-playing software. I agree. The box art is sick. That being said, spoilers for the Lost Mines of Phandelver. For those of you who are going to be playing it sometime soon. 1, 2, 3. This box art is a fucking lie. Okay? They make it seem like you're gonna fight a dragon as part of the main campaign. No, it's basically a side quest to fight this dragon. Like, it's basically a side quest. You kind of do have to, but you can also kind of ignore it. It's not the main villain of the story. There's a green dragon in part of this the world where this is, and then it's like you can fight it, and then it just fucks off and it leaves, or you can kill it. That's it. You got in? Let's see. Are you sure? You got to make sure you see the Zaggard and the dragon in my logo. But I appreciate you doing that. Optional dragon boss. Yeah, basically. I just realized I'm still screen sharing. Holy heck, I'm stupid. But anyways, it is a cool story. I won't spoil what's actually happening in it. This dragon is kind of a side thing. I've never played this one. I haven't played Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. I hear it's okay for a starter set. I just know this one's pretty good. This is the one me and my friends started on, and I highly recommend it. It's 5th edition. It's not D&D 2024 or D&D 2025, whatever they're calling it now. So it is, the characters are a little bit weaker. You don't have as many options, but it's a good starting point. I suggest you get 3 to 5 of your friends. You guys buy this together. Like, if you can't afford to buy the starter set, how much does the starter set cost? It costs $16. If you don't have $16, literally pitch into it together. Buy it together, because you're gonna play it together anyways. If your friends are interested, if 3 of you pitch in $5, you got it. Like, okay. And if you don't have 2 friends who, if you don't have 3 friends who have $5, then you must be in high school or in middle school. So yeah, I highly recommend this. This would be the best way to get into it. I would start if you plan to be the player. I will say, if none of you have played D&D before and you pitch the game, you are now the dungeon master. Full stop. You are not a player. You are the dungeon master. Whoever pitches the game is going to be the dungeon master 99.9999% of the time. And so be prepared to take on the role of dungeon master. It's going to be scary. You're going to think it's impossible. You're going to think you can't do it. But there are 2 words of wisdom. First one is you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise you that. Second thing is, don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Did ran tribute as a tyrannical ruler. True. Me and Du Bois on a Saturday night. What if I have no friends? I do watch a lot of Critical Role, though. So my first thing, do you actually have no friends, Sebastian? Because a lot of people will say, oh, what if I have no friends? But they probably have 1 or 2 friends. But let's say you definitely don't have friends. You have 2 options. Option 1, go to your local game store and see if they have a D&D night. If not, Google online, see if there is a local game store that hosts a weekly, some sort of weekly D&D game. I forget what the official one is called. What are the official D&D games called? Sword Coast? No. No, I'm trying to remember what it's called. That you can find at your local game store that people will run for you. Adventurers League, that's what it's called. Try, if you literally have no friends, look for a local Adventurers League. You can play into that. They have a lot of rules on keeping people from being mean or making others uncomfortable, but it will be a steeper learning curve for you to learn to play. I live in the Tennessee boonies. There's no game store unless I drive an hour away. Yeah, that kind of sucks. That's a possibility. That if you really want to get into it in person, I say in person is better than online, but I will give you some online options in a second. So that's the first one. The first one is either you get your friends to start playing, you guys try it out and see if you like it, or you find an adventures league. You can also go on like Facebook groups and stuff and try to host it at your house or at a place that you can, like a community center or something. That's going to take some more work to set up, but you could do that. It's up to you. That one's a little bit riskier because you're inviting strangers and there's no overarching group of professionals to protect you from the way strangers may act when playing the game. If you can't do any in person, then you can do online, and there are a lot of different options for online. There's Roll20. Let's see. There's Roll20. I used this for what's the other one? So there's so obviously you can get this. You'll have to host it on your computer. This is Foundry. You have to host it on your computer, but they don't have to own a thing. You just buy it one time, and then you got to learn the ropes on how to do it on your computer. Host it. Roll20, everybody has to have an account. You have to pay for an account if you want the better features, and it's a subscription model, but it does work pretty well. Again, you have to learn how to use all these because they're online. There are a lot of YouTube videos to explain it. Owlbear Rodeo I haven't used that much, but it's another online one. And then Fantasy Grounds is a lot like Foundry, where it's a one-time purchase, but everybody has to download this to be able to use it. Then there are, after that, there are online groups on Roll20 where you can try and find people to play with. You can go on Facebook and find groups. Facebook is a really good place to find D&D groups. But in my opinion, the best answer, not necessarily getting shanked per se, but more so that there are people who act really creepy sometimes when they play. Like, go on YouTube right now. Type in D&D horror stories. There's here, actually, I'll do it. D&D horror stories. Right? There are so many different horror stories. There's the Craig Saga. Watch into that. There's Crispy Tavern. I've watched this guy. Crit Crab's been around for a long time. He has a lot of great stories. I'm forgetting the guy's name. The dragon guy. The Den of the Drake. Watch any of these YouTube channels. It'll tell you what to look out for and what could potentially happen. So that's like I'm sure you have some horror stories. I have probably two or three horror stories. I don't have that many. Mine aren't that crazy. Mine are like, wow, that sucks, and then we moved on. Mostly because I got into D&D when I was a lot older. And the one really bad horror story, I was younger, and so was the other person, so I was like, we were all kind of young. As a go fat guy, I'm probably safe from stalkers. I can't say whether that's true or not. If you tell me some, I'll make sure to input appropriate Monka at regular intervals. Keck W. True. Thank you. So it's less about getting stalked, and more that it's more about learning the do's and watching these horror stories is more about learning the do's and don'ts of running a game and being in a game. Not letting people walk all over you, but also not learning to walk all over people. So I highly recommend you watch any of these channels. They're all really good channels. Loot Goblin Marketplace, Crispy Tavern, The Den of the Drake. Crit Crab is a really good one. Crit Crab is one of the OGs. When I first started playing Satisfactory, I would play Crit Cap videos in the background for hours while listening to his stuff. So those are the things to look. Those are channels to watch, to look out for. I highly recommend them. Again, if you want to get into D&D though, the best answer is to let's see, Dungeon Dudes. Dungeon Coach. Who's another person I watch very regular? Like, finally, go on.
Dungeon Coach.
Watch these guys. Try to learn about their. What's his name? Oh, I almost forgot it. Dungeon Craft. Dungeon Craft. Dungeon Craft. Bob Worldbuilder. These are some YouTubers that I really like.
Welcome to Dungeon Craft.
That I highly recommend you just watch if you want to learn how to run the game and learn different things about the game for fun. And then you want to join their communities, join their Discords, and then see if there's anybody who wants to play the game and doesn't have a DM. Because if you choose to be the DM, you will find players. I'm not kidding you. If you are a DM, you can find players. If you are a player, you might not find DMs. That's the thing. So for every one DM, there's 4 players. Almost always. There's actually probably a lot more, but there's always 1 to 4. And so I highly recommend you watch these guys, find the YouTuber that you like the most, and then join their community, because their community will be people who kind of like to play the game these guys like, the way these guys like to play it. And then join their Discords, join their Patreons if you're willing to pay for it. And then you just start asking, hey, is there a place? And they'll give you even better, more in-depth, more long-term information about what is a good place to find D&D players. Where is a good place to go online? I highly recommend you watch these guys. They will be like, these guys have been my godsend for years. Like, I don't watch the Dungeon Dudes that much anymore, but I still see them time to time. I love the DM Layer, love Dungeon Coach, love Dungeon Draft, Bob World. In fact, I love the Dungeon Coach so much, I go to every one of his live streams when I can, because he's currently making his own D&D clone called DC20, and that's what DC20. That's what this is for. This is for a game of DC20. So yeah, don't be a jerk and you'll be fine. Yes and no. That's definitely true. And that's what people say. But just like in the real world, define be a jerk, right? It's a very nuanced answer. There's obvious stuff like don't hit people, don't touch them when they don't want you to, don't spit on people, right? But then there are little things you can do that one person might like and one person might hate. You might tell a story a certain way that people don't like. You might have a certain rule that you think is really important in it, and this is what makes the game good. And everybody else is like, no, I fucking hate that. You said you watch a lot of Critical Role, right, Sebastian? No, that's not what I wanted to look for. Let me see, is this... That's it, the Matt Mercer effect. So, the Matt Mercer effect is a real thing. Matt Mercer is a really fun guy. He makes a great story. He runs it really well. His players are also really awesome. Don't try to run the game like Matt Mercer. That is my first rule I'm going to tell you. Do not try to run the game like Matt Mercer. Matt Mercer is a very specific type of person who runs a very specific type of game. And once you start playing D&D and you start watching more videos about D&D and about running D&D, the more you're going to realize the game he's playing is very different than the game everybody else is playing. And that is not a bad thing. There's a reason he's super popular, because he makes a very unique game. And part of that is because of his players. And part of that is because of him. So if you start running D&D or you start playing D&D, do not expect it to be like Critical Role. It is not going to be Critical Role. It will never be like Critical Role. Your game is going to be your game, whether that's amazing or terrible. So that's my first thing. Do not go into playing D&D to think, oh my god, I can't wait to... It's going to be like on this episode of Critical Role. We're going to have this moment. We're going to fight this guy. We're going to have this... No. Just like episode 13 of season 1 of Avatar is completely different than episode 13 of Naruto, is completely different than episode 13 of Big Bang Theory, is completely different than episode 13 of Burn Notice. Critical Role is going to be completely different than your game. Just remember that. Again, that's not to say anything against Critical Role. I've never watched them, but I've never hated them either. They just aren't my thing. I think they are fantastic at what they do. What I do is nothing like that. These thumbnails are so peak. I mean, they are. Let me ask. I'm aware the group of Critical Role is made up of talented voice actors, emphasis on the actors. They know how to play a character well. It's not even just that they know how to play a character well. They are all good friends. They're all being paid. They are here for a job. And that job is to entertain you, not themselves. When they go to play D&D, they're like, okay, this session, I'm going to play my character in the best way to entertain the audience. When you go to play D&D, you're like, what is going to make the game fun for me? And that's pretty normal. When you play video games, 99% of the time, you go in going, what's going to make it fun for me, right? Like, you don't go to a restaurant and buy the meal that the guy at table 13 is going to like. You buy the meal that you're going to like. That's pretty normal. But they're also, like you said, professional actors. So they're trying to entertain you. And when you learn that difference, you realize the game is completely different. It's a different game. What they're doing and what you're doing, completely different. So Matt must have started D&D or D&D content. He made the first live D&D show on YouTube. And basically made D&D popular in mainstream media along with Stranger Things. Hi, Sam. Oh, Sam, you want a quick spoiler? There's a spoiler. There's your spoiler. There's your quick spoiler. Papa Mercer, JK. I have fun job. They're having fun though. Yeah, exactly. They're having fun. That's all that matters. There's your spoiler. Congratulations. Not me not looking at the screen. That's fine. It's okay. 1 week. Sam is one of the players who plays with Andrew, by the way, chat. And if you guys were wondering if he acts that way only in front of the camera, Sam can confirm that the way Andrew acts on YouTube is actually probably more calm than the way he acts in real life. He's probably more silly in real life than he is on in his videos. Like the Andrew you're getting is Andrew. 100. Yeah, see, Sam knows it. Dude, remember that time when were you there when Andrew kept just throwing out jokes, and Andrew just went, "Do you ever turn it off?" And Andrew made a joke out of that. That was fucking insane. I will never get over that. That was hilarious. Like, Andrew just did not expect it. That was great. All right. Now to get back to actually what I was supposed to be doing for this stream. I love that you asked that question, by the way. making myself get back to because I have ADHD. But if you have any more questions, anybody in the chat, please send them to me. Oops. Okay, so we got town guards. We're gonna just have them stand around. Let's add our alchemist. I feel like I've heard the name before, but I'm not sure it was a D&D. Okay, we're gonna turn off screen and turn back. Where was it? Opera Affinity. There we go. Wait, no, it's not Affinity. What am I doing? Pagan. No, it's Da Vinci. Da Vinci. Da Vinci. You know when Claire first saw Da Vinci, she thought it was called Divinity. Finished watching the Mighty Nine campaign. I'm about halfway through campaign 1. I've heard of those campaigns. I know nothing about them, Sebastian. The only D&D YouTube guy I know is Brennan something. Oh, Brennan Lee Mulligan. He's known for popular VA roles like McCree, Cassidy from Overwatch, and some anime dubs. What were your thoughts on the story of Black Myth Wukong? Fine, but nothing much really. I honestly did not love Black Myth Wukong. No, this should just be an. Wait. Apu. One second, let me figure out. Right, this is how you do it. So many buttons to go through, chat. Oh my god. Where's my tokens? I have so many token pages. Finish tokens. NPC. No. Nope. Okay, so we'll use that. And then we gotta go to floor 2 to get the rats. So I gotta scratch my back. Which of the Straw Hats would play D&D and how long you think before the game goes off the rails? The answer is all of them would play D&D and immediately. It would immediately go off the rails. There would be no question of when it goes off the rails. It would just go off the rails. We'll add Nash first. Yes. Actually, well, we already called this Nash, so we'll just add Nash. Where are you, Nash? There you are. And then we'll make the rats. Radioactive rat? Radiated. A rat. It is a rat. A rat. Monster, where is the rat? grandmother. Papu. Doesn't have to look perfect. It's just gotta get the job done. Next we've got vines. Did we not finish the vines? Oh, did we not make the vines? Oh, man. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Do we have the evil mic in it at least? We do. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll add the vines later. So we gotta remember to do that. Lurk. Yuki's lurking. No. He's Sakamoto from Sakamoto Days, from Netflix from most recently. Why is what? Why is what? What's why? What happened? Why is that? Do you judge characters like give criticism on them? In what way? Explain. Explain, Sebastian. Expand on questions. If you had the chance to animate one of your D&D adventures, which one would you do? I don't know. I haven't had enough really solid ones that I want to animate yet. I want to get much better as a DM before I animate it. And I'd want to see how it ends. But if I had to answer one, probably my Looming Shadow one, my current Looming Shadow one. I moved into this chat. Hello. Hello, Sebastian. Gotta be the one with the flying fork. Oh, true. The flying fork. I forgot the flying fork. Now, honestly, though, I like my Looming Shadow campaign. I like the players right now. I like the way it's going. I like that everybody seems involved. Although I did forget to ask for feedback the last, 2 sessions, so I should probably do that real quick. Okay, let's add the rats. Rats. And we'll just have them all. How do I make them smaller again? Okay, let's copy paste. Just to get the players to really understand how many of these rats there are. It's basically an infestation. And we'll just put 3 here. And then this guy's humanoid size, so he's just gonna be freaky like that. And we gotta put our Myconid boss. We'll put him in the center there. And then we'll have a couple of rat boys. And a couple of soldiers. And we'll move those around later. We'll have 2 more town guards. That way when they come up, it's like, hey, what are you doing here? And they gotta knock them out. And then I'll just, let's see. We said there's a lot, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just have them spread out so that way it looks like they're all working on something. And these guys are guarding this door. And we'll just have half as many. And then there's just one guy who's sleeping over here. Where's the sleeping one? It's always so small. There we go. He's sleeping. And then we'll add some more rats. And we'll say they're all hiding up here. Okay, cool. I think we've got our maps now. I think we're good. Gotta be the one. Let me know that feedback is timely, chat. True. Sam is actually very timely with her feedback. She's like the next day. By the way, you suck. So it's always very helpful. First time seeing your channel. How long have you been DMing? How long has Looming Shadows been going on? Please. So I've been DMing since 2020. So not for very long, only about 5 years. My Looming Shadow campaign has been going on since January of this year, so for a little over 6 months. This is actually my other campaign, my Crossfire and Cunning campaign, which has only been going on for 5 months. So the reason why I haven't been having campaigns for longer is because my friends kind of got bored of D&D, and it turns out they weren't really into D&D, but I was. So thank you. Truly a blessing. May your pillows be cool and your chips never empty, and your cup never empty. True. The idea of taking a character and dissecting them, the pros and cons of how well they've been made, the aesthetics, backstory, motivation, message, see where they can be improved. While that's a fun thing to do, ultimately you don't really need to do that with D&D. Not with a player character, not with an NPC. You want to just have a basic outline. You can expand a character as the campaign goes on. Because just like in the real world, we don't start as like this fully fledged out character with all these ideas and beliefs and opinions and actions that we've committed in our past and our goals for the future. No, we start off as a blank slate. And as we live, as we experience more things, we become more of a person. Your D&D character should probably, your D&D character and your NPC should probably follow that same path. The more that the more time you spend with those characters, the more of a character they should become. What is underutilized power you would like to see in media, whether it's a fantasy or sci-fi? I can't think of one. I'm gonna be honest. Wow, what is your map making app? I don't know if I've ever asked you, Lamau. Well, this here is what I did is I just took some images I found online, and then I used Affinity Photo and I just merged them together. Like I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different images and I merged them into one to make them look like one cohesive thing. You can tell if you really zoom in. This is the exact same thing as this, but this is not the same as this, or this, or this. I just am pretty visually able to make it look like it's the same thing. Is the big thing. Like they're actually completely different art styles if you really look at them. I'm using Foundry though for running the game or for online, but I much prefer our in-person games. Like if you want to see the maps I make for our, here I'll spoil something. Where is it? Tabletop. Campaign, Looming Shadows. Where's my maps? Maps. And then I'll show it on screen. This was the map I used for our Looming Shadow campaign. The very first dungeon you guys went to, this was the map I was following. I made this on like Dungeon Scrawl. Here, where is it? I used this software. Oops, not what I want to do. Why am I on export? There we go. I use this. I keep using the wrong thing. And then let's see, where's it? This is what I use for making most of my maps, and I made this on Dungeon Scroll. I knew the layout I wanted it to be. I wanted it to kind of have the circular connection here. Spoilers, yes. Oh, that's actually pretty nifty. I'm gonna keep this in mind, lol. If you want a semi-spoiler, I can show you. This is the layout I use for all my maps. This is kind of this, like, I try to make it like this. Like, there's an entrance, there's a complication, there's a da-da-da-da. Ending, plot twist. There's always a secret entrance and exit. There's always an alternate threat or ally. Helpful info, secret room. Almost all of these elements are in every one of my campaigns. Or every one of my maps. I just change how big they are, which one is first. There are 3 things that will always be the same. The secret entrance or exit will always be like 2 rooms in, minimum. So that way it feels like you can cut through the dungeon or you can escape out a separate way. The entrance will always be the first main area you can go through. And the boss will always be at the end. Other than that, the order can be whatever I want it to be. It's actually pretty nifty. If Sora was a D&D character, what would his build be? I keep thinking Blade Warlock, Swords Bard, but what say you? That's a good question. Warlock or Paladin? He'd be a Warlock or Paladin, because once he loses his heart, he would lose his Keyblade, and then he'd lose his magic. Like, it's canonical that his magic is tied to his Keyblade. Because once he lost his Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 1, he couldn't use magic anymore. So he's either a Warlock or a Paladin. That's all I have to do about characters. The characters grow from play, yes. Best of luck. Thank you, Rick Stump. But yeah, Dungeon Scroll is the app I use. I really like Dungeon Scroll. It's a really cool app. I actually got into Dungeon Scroll before all the YouTubers did. One of my favorite YouTubers, Bob Worldbuilder. Here's Dungeon Scroll. He has a video about using Dungeon Scroll. And it was 2 years after I already used it, so I felt like I was ahead of the game. I love it. If you guys want to know about map making tools, I actually have some past videos where not map making, world building tools and stuff. I have some past videos. Since we're going to end out the stream here soon anyways, I'm just going to go to the full cam. So I don't have to keep showing my screen anymore. Give me a second. With how he works in Heroes 1, he functions like a Blade Warlock. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm thinking, the only reason I think Paladin is because he's a good guy. He's not working for an entity, but his powers are still connected to an oath / a higher power than himself. But his goals are his own, not some demon or eldritch being. It's his goals. But, you know, if he loses his heart or his oath, so to speak, or his divine power, he then becomes he then loses his powers. But Warlock does work. Let's see. Here's I highly recommend, if you really want to learn to run D&D, either watch videos or read this book. There's a lot of different books. This is a really good book. So you want to be a dungeon master. I've read this cover to cover twice. It can really help you learn how to like set stuff up, how to run the game, stuff like that. I'm in the middle of reading this. This is from the DM layer. It's called The Secret Art of Game Mastery. I can't tell you if it's better or worse, but they're both solid. I can't get to it right now. Well, I can. I just want to. Okay, I get to the other one. There's a thing called the story engine. Look it up online. Just type in the story engine. Yeah, it should be the first thing that comes. It's the first link that comes up. It's a really cool engine for creating characters, stories, all that sort of stuff, for fun, for your D&D world. I highly recommend trying it out. It's a really good resource. I've been following that Kickstarter and buying all the Kickstarters I can every time he comes out with one since like 2021, whenever he started it. Technically, the works can be Celestial or God-aligned. They can be, that is true. But it's more so that they have to follow, like it's like, oh, you have to do this thing or I'm just going to stop giving you powers, which technically is also true for paladins, but they did change paladins a bit in 5e to be more oath based, which I'm not a fan of, but some people like. Anyways, so that's what I'm so that's our making our dungeon for Crossfire and Cunning. I hope you guys all had fun. We're gonna end here. My throat is starting to die. I have to make dinner, and then I'm gonna play some Peak / Baldur's Gate 3 / watch TV with my fiance. Whatever we're gonna do. Maybe I'll watch some Bob World Builder, Dungeon Craft, Dungeon Coach, DM Layer, Dungeon Dudes. I highly recommend you watch those guys. Watch Crit Crab. He's a really fun guy. Crispy Tavern, Loot Goblin Market, the DM Layer. The Den of the Drake for all the do's and don'ts, and just for fun stories where it's like, wow, that person's crazy. I'm glad I'm not that person. I'm glad I'm not stuck playing with that person. So highly recommend you go watch them. But for now, guys, thank you all for joining us. We will see you all next Monday for Magical Monday. I'm hoping I'll get back into Expedition 33. I was so busy this Monday. Until then, stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy. Be thankful for everything and everyone in your life. And the number one rule here in the Dragon's Den: don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Bye-bye, chat.